All right, we're here with our client Mark. Mark is actually one of my previous clients from an older business we had, very successful with that, with his YouTube channels, but he has parlayed those profits into trading. And just in the past, what is it, 3 months, Mark? You've made 4 months, maybe? You've made over $40,000 in the account.
Yeah, we're just at 40 months right now, and I'm looking at my Tasty Trade account, and I'm at 38.7. So we're getting really close to 40,000 in 4 months.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. And before this, have you ever traded before, or is this was your first time ever trading?
I've been on and off on it. I did it when I was really, really young and didn't know what I was doing. And I would just
Okay.
lose money and be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then just working through companies over the years, I just built up a 401k. And after I left the corporate life, I just let it sit in IRA and never did anything with it. I just put it in stable asset funds because I didn't want to lose the money.
Okay. And that, I mean, that's a safe choice for most, investors, like the passive kind of route, right? Because
Yeah,
if you don't know what you're doing, then yeah, you could lose a lot, right?
yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly.
but how have you found it to work out for you so far? Like, was it something that you thought was going to be a bigger learning curve, or was it kind of a learning curve for you?
I thought it would be a bigger learning curve. I looked at other investment communities in the past. A lot of them are like day trade focus or like this
Yeah.
concept of zero DTE, and they're like, you got to do this and you got to do that, and you got to meditate before you trade. And I was like, I don't have time for this stuff. I have kids in a family. I don't have time for this. Like, is there a better way to doing it? And then
Yeah.
I just started following more and more your YouTube channel because I know you started YouTubing, so I just started following that. And you had called out a few stocks, and I was like, all right, let me just dip my toes in the water
Yeah.
and let me try it. So I started doing that, and I was like, hey, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
When I do investing in the past, I'd always invest in stupid stuff. Like when I was, I think 18, I invested in like the WWE IPO back in the day, and I was like, yeah, they're gonna make a lot of money,
Oh,
and
wow.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then my brother was talking to me, and he's like, "Hey, you really should get into stock trading because he's really successful on it."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's cool, but you keep losing a lot of money every time like COVID happens or this and that happens." And he's like, "You just got to roll the punches." I was like, "All right, man, let me give it a shot." And that's what I
Yeah.
just diving in. One thing led to another. I started buying the stocks you're recommending, and then tried to get into options, and my brokerage denied me, and then I switched to the brokerage you recommended, and we went from there.
Nice. Nice. So you actually made money prior to kind of joining and jumping the gun with it.
Yeah, I would say we're probably closer to like 50 if you take all that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. And what would you say is different? Because you mentioned day trading communities, you mentioned like seeing following some of those communities in the past versus this community and strategy. What would you say is like the biggest difference for you?
Your focus, I would say, is more on I'm a really busy person. I don't have time to focus on being a full-time trader, which is really
Hmm.
like I don't. I run a business. I have kids that are off in the summer. I don't have time to follow the market that heavily. I just want
Yeah.
to make trades, monitor passively, and go from there. And this
Yeah.
approach works. This approach, from what I've seen, is beating the market from when I looked at my metrics, so that's been really good too. Um, and I really like your suggestions on VIX allocations because in the past when I would trade, I would just keep it all in stock and not think about it. And
Yep.
that's not a good thing either.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
if you don't look at it right, then it's, I guess, being 100% invested is fine, right? Because you're not looking at it. But when you
right.
do start looking at it, you're like, whoa, like I'm missing out on some opportunity by having all my cash tied in when the market's at all-time highs.
Yeah,
So,
exactly, exactly. And
yeah.
you've given out some good call outs in the community. On the Discord server, there was like one guy who wanted to invest in a pretty risky stock, and you're like, hey, just letting you know, you guys decide to do this with him. It's not the type of style that I work with, and if you do
Yep.
this and you lose money, it's really on you. And then I think he came back a couple days later and said he lost money.
Yeah. Yeah. And and that's what you have me there for, to like keep you disciplined, because I think me and you are very similar in our approach. Like
Yeah,
we want consistency. We don't want the BS. We don't want to have to like you said, meditate before we trade or
Yeah.
spend hours in front of the computer. Like we want it to be pretty relatively hands off,
Right.
but consistent, and it works, and
Yeah.
that's really what we shoot for. So you don't have to go super high risk with this. Like
Yeah.
that's what most people have a
And
misconception.
you do have sections that are more risky, like you have spreads and things like that that are taught in the course.
Yeah.
I started a little baby account where I could just kind of dip my toes in the water and not worry about losing money.
Hmm.
That's doing pretty well too. Like that account alone, prior to today, was up 50%. And then stupid
Whoa.
me decided not to listen to you. This is what happens when when people don't listen to you. And I lost money on a trade, so I'm not at the 50% I was at because of it. I'm still
Okay.
up, but
Yeah.
not as high as I should be because I made that trade.
That's okay. That's okay.
I was
That's
like,
your
it's a throwaway account. I have the ability to buy nakeds. Let me just try a naked. And I was okay losing the money. I was like, oh, that's okay. I'll risk like a few $100s, and if I lose the money, fine. Because it's a
okay.
tiny account, right? Like the
Yeah.
equivalent of that on my main account would be like if I drop like 20 or 30,000 on that account and lost
Okay.
it. And I'm okay losing this money.
Uh, at least you went in with that mindset. You
Yeah.
just go higher risk, have fun with it, and that's
Yeah.
fine too. That's fine too.
Yeah.
But okay, so you've been doing both, like cash secured puts in the main account, but also in the small account, you've been doing spreads and
Yeah.
you've even dipped your toes into some naked puts.
Which was dumb.
It's okay. I mean, but there t comes a time and a place where hey, the market comes down and it's like you pretty
Yeah.
much wipe out a lot of those profits. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it's
So
okay.
spreads have been tricky. I do know you offer one-on-one coaching, and that's definitely something I want to get into more and more
Yeah.
with you to like understand this more. My primary goal right now is to be more passive on the main account and be more aggressive on the tiny account. My goal with the tiny account is to get it probably up to about, I'd say 30 to 50K, and then I'll go more passive on it.
Okay.
And then I will probably do the same thing again on a taxable account because everything I've been doing has been tax free.
Oh,
And
nice.
I think I'm getting to the point now where I probably should just do a taxable
Yeah.
because there's advantages of being able to do taxable because you can access the capital.
Yeah.
And I'm making enough through my YouTubing and blogging that I can put in the capital contributions to grow pretty fast. And so that's
Sure.
my next goal. Like I haven't put in much money at all into these accounts. I just let them ride.
Oh,
So like
nice.
I mean for this recording when I say like I've almost made $40,000, that is not capital contributions. And
Right.
I know some people will look at testimonials and be like, "Well, how much money did you put in?" I said, "I only
Hmm.
put $100." And that's
Yeah.
immaterial when you're talking about $40,000. That's all I put in at this point. Like everything is from the existing account. It is just grew.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that too, because and that's like everything we talk about. Profits is profits. That's not like I don't even for me, like when I say I made 50K in profit, it's not like, oh well, I added in 10K and I
Yeah.
count that as profit, right? No.
Yeah.
Profit is profit. So yeah, thank
Yeah.
you
I've seen people
for
call that
clarifying
out
that.
when people
Yeah.
show their historical trends. They're like, well, how much capital did you contribute? And like, there's just silence.
It's
It's crickets.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So thank you for clarifying that because that's a big one for, yeah, people are a little bit more skeptical, and that's okay. Were you at all skeptical, like in about prior to joining, kind of about with the strategies or anything, or were you just kind of more open-minded?
I'm not skeptical when it comes to you because I already made money with you once.
That's true.
So there's
That's true.
that.
You have a little bit
Right.
of bias
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's the other thing too. Like Ryan and I have a history. When I
Yeah.
first met him, just to give you guys a full background, like I was in the blog business, right? And my blog got destroyed by Google updates. So I went from making like 30 something thousand a month to like 4 grand a month, like in the just overnight, right? And I was trying to figure out what to do with my business, and I was like, I got to pivot. I got to get into YouTube. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And that's when I found Ryan, and Ryan taught us all about like YouTubing and how to scale it. Like I didn't really follow the full methodology, but I followed the system, and the system is what worked. So like I hired
Hmm.
the people, like I did all this, and like it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And now
Yep.
the YouTube channel is almost at like where the blog is, and that's like plenty enough money for me for what I'm
Yeah.
doing. And now trading's like on top of that, it's like having two six-figure incomes. The only
It's
thing is that
crazy.
six-figure income is is tax deferred, and that's why I'd say like I got to do a taxable account. Like I got to access this capital.
Yeah, yeah, that is crazy. And you see, like, I love it that you've been with me since the beginning, like back when
Yeah,
I had a YouTube automation
yeah,
business and coaching. Um, so you're like following my progression as well.
yes,
Like you
exactly.
take what you make from your active income, from YouTube channels, from
Yes,
career, and you just plow that into the markets and make 2 to 5% a month. It's pretty
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So
And now I'm trying to find. Now I'm trying to do another thing. I was talking to a firm about it because I want to do the solo 401k. Because you
okay.
talked about it in the coaching calls about how you have one. I was like, maybe I should do that because I looked at the num how much you can contribute. I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. I can tax defer.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like
and this
67
is
grand
me
a
too.
year.
Yeah, and this is me too. Like I'm a licensed CPA. I didn't really think about this. Like my CPA license is with the corporate world because I would do like controllership. I would like take companies public.
Okay.
In the past, that's what I used to do.
Yep.
And with this, I'm like, yeah, I really should get into that. It's like money, like I'm leaving off the table.
Yeah, it's a cheat code, especially because you're young too. So it's like,
Yeah,
you have t a lot of time until retirement. Might as well have it there,
yeah,
that account.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, very
I'm
nice.
not I'm not as young as I look.
Ah, you're young, Mark. But that's crazy. So, okay, so you found it pretty manageable as far because I know you're busy during the day. You're working on many other projects. Like, how much time do you spend with trading?
Very, very little. The main thing is showing up to the calls
Okay.
and like listening to your trade alerts. You're pretty thorough on the stocks that you do vet. Um, it's always been a me thing. Like I always like do my own stuff. I mean, I did
Hmm.
the same thing when I did YouTubing with you. Like I did my own kind of thing.
Yep.
So I venture off and do research. That's more like my optional time. I wouldn't call that like required time for this course. Really, you can do pretty well if you just follow the methodology and the suggested trades. I think most people would do pretty well on that. I think most people do pretty well in your like safe account too.
Hmm.
Because I think the safe account would probably beat the S&P from what I've
Oh
seen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Unintentionally, it's beating the
unintentionally, right?
S&P.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I initially, and for viewers to give context, because I don't show that account on YouTube, but I
yeah,
do have a safe account where we do, you know, stuff that we don't like to get assigned on. And initially, it was just to say, hey, like if I could 3x a high yield savings, I'm happy, but we're up
yeah,
like 20% already for the year on that account. So it's
yeah.
been pretty good.
And you get to learn, like, you get to be comfortable with how aggressive you want to be. It was funny. I was on one of your coaching calls and I was like, hey, what do I do with this? Because I'm about to get assigned. And you're like kind of looking at us. You're like, oh, yeah, I never get assigned.
Yeah,
I
that's
was like,
okay.
what am I doing wrong? I'm probably too aggressive.
Yeah. Well, hey, you get paid. You get paid,
Yeah, you get paid either
for
way.
how aggressive you go. So, what are your, I guess, now that you have this in your arsenal, like alongside with your businesses, what is your long-term goals for the trading?
So that's really put me at a crossroads right now because I thought to myself, man, I should really get into real estate. But the whole reason I got into this is because real estate's crap right now. Because I
Hmm.
live in Austin, and I don't know if people know this, but the Austin market, at least at the time of this recording, has gone down about 25%
Yeah.
in the last couple of years. Not a very good
Yeah.
place to buy. So I'm like, I'm just going to stay out of investment. But now I'm getting these returns, and I have the capital where it's pretty much like having equity. Well, I'm
Hmm.
thinking to myself, maybe I should just keep trading and just like live very simple. Like,
Yeah.
just do like the Warren
Oh.
Buffett trade.
I know it's so crazy. Like once you get into it, you just kind of have that mind. My mindset actually has been more like yours too. Like
Yeah,
because I lived in Austin as well,
yeah,
and we got blessed to be able to sell our house at
yeah,
the time we did, because the market has just continued to go down. But
yeah.
yeah, like I didn't buy a new house. I took all that money and I said, I threw it into the trading account. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So
I know exactly what you mean. I
yeah,
mean, this whole thing has been transformational. I told a lot of my friends who are close to me locally here in Austin. I was like, dude, Ryan's changed my life. Like, you really need to like get on this if you're having issues with like trying to figure out what you want to do like financially.
yeah, I
I'd
appreciate
mentioned it
that.
on a few like my Instagram reels. I was like, dude, this guy's changed my life. Like, he changed. Like, you came into my life right when I like finalized the divorce, and like I
Wow.
lost over 1 million in assets like from the divorce.
That's
And
crazy.
like I had like alimony, I had child support, like I had two mortgages under my name. Like I was trying to figure out like all this stuff. And then like the whole Google thing happened. I was like, fuck, what the hell do I do? I'm sorry, I swear. I swear it on the recording.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's
I'm
you're keeping
like,
it
what the
real.
hell? I was like, what am I gonna do? And then you
Yeah.
just came in and it just kind of all worked out. And like right now, like I feel the momentum's really strong for me. Like it's not just trading, like I'm in more channels now. Like I'm rolling new projects, like new concepts that I've never done before. That's all based on like your teachings anyway. Like everything that I've learned, like I've carried over, right? Even the whole
Yeah.
mindset thing, um, with trading that you teach about how yeah, like you're gonna take a loss now, like on a put if you got a sign, but the way we select our stocks, like
Hmm.
historically they've come back.
Yeah.
So if you take like a 20% dip, like you just wait it out.
Yep. Yeah. It's like buying a really good piece of property that's in the right
Yeah.
location. Sure, maybe it dipped at 25% in price, but hey, eventually it's going to go back up, right? So,
Yeah. And the community
yeah.
helps too because when I mean, we haven't had it yet because since I've been in your community, like everything's been gravy. Like we've been in a bull market, right? But there's going to be
Yeah.
a time and point where the market's going to get really bad.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, these types of communities really show their value when times are the worst.
Yeah.
Like when we were in COVID or we're in like a 2017 like crash when we had the housing market, like that kind of stuff is when these communities really pay dividends. And right now the market's really hot, but we know at some point the moment's going to come.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
if you're smart about it, if you stayed employed and you have money saved up, like that's when you buy. You buy when the ships are burning.
Yep.
And
Yep. Yeah. And
you even say that in the community. You're like, man, I wish we had more drama so we can get into some leads, but it's been boring.
I know it was actually more fun when the crash happened in April. I know you joined after, but
Yeah,
like obviously during the initial, everyone was freaking out and I was like, "Hey guys, calm down. Like it's coming back." And of
yeah,
course it did. And and then it was real fun because it was like you could go real heavy
yeah,
with like leaps, call options, at the money puts, stuff like that. But
yeah.
yeah,
That's
we'll get an
when
opportunity.
that's actually when I ended up switching brokerages because you were calling on the YouTube channel like talking about this, and I was talking to my
Hmm.
broker, like, man, I need to buy some leaps, and they're like, you can't buy leaps because you don't qualify. I was like, what do you mean I don't qualify?
I know. Yeah,
And they're like,
sometimes.
wait until December. I'm like, screw you guys, I'm not waiting until December. I'm gonna switch brokerages.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do. If you can't get approved for certain options, you just go to Tasty Trade. I mean, they're going to be a free plug for Tasty Trade. I don't get paid by them, but they're a good company. So, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that long-term goal. Interesting. You were thinking real estate, but you kind of have pivoted towards this, and I agree. It's definitely more. I like this compared to real estate because I've been in real estate as well, but we sold all our properties. But this is definitely more hands off and it's more liquid. Like if you do need
Yeah,
the capital, it's right
yeah,
there.
it's
So
definitely more hands off. It's more liquid. The only issue is the tax advantage. That's the thing that kills me because I'm
yeah,
like, I need more write-offs.
yeah, I know. Have you looked into potentially setting up like a trading LLC? That's something I haven't really talked about too much, but
I can't really explore that until I do the taxable because everything's tax deferred right now.
oh yeah, yep,
But once
yep,
I start scaling that, I definitely need to consider it because
yeah,
at the rate I'm running, it wouldn't be very difficult for me to build up like another six-figure account just with just contributions.
for sure.
I haven't gone all in. Like everything I'm doing here is super conservative with you.
Good. That's good. That's the best way because then you just scale in when you're comfortable. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? That's
exactly.
what I tell
Yeah.
people. When you're
Yeah.
ready
I
to
mean,
throw in another 100K, then you do it.
yeah, I mean I could drop that in all in tomorrow, but it's like I kind of like my savings account just being there right now.
Yeah,
But I mean I have more cash than what my brokerage account says. So like if tomorrow the market goes on fire and you're like, hey, let's buy some leaves, I have extra money I can put in.
that's the best time to allocate. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure. Awesome. What would you tell someone that's kind of on the fence? Maybe they've been burned before by trading different trading groups. Yeah, I guess what would you say to someone who's kind of either new or just kind of on the fence?
Um, I would say to that I've worked with you before. I've had prior success with you before. Um, I think a lot of the people who are on there, that's like the only thing they've done. So it's
Hmm.
really difficult. Or they've been around so much, it's really hard to know if they've been around for the crashes because we know that I think was it like the last 7 or 8 years have been like the hottest bull market. So it's tough to really gauge someone's success off that.
Well, we had 2022 bear market. Yeah. That was
Mhm.
pretty deep. But this last crash was the fifth fastest stock market crash in
Yeah.
history. So it was definitely not it was a big one.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And Ryan's
yeah.
more than just a stock trader. Like he runs businesses and all this other stuff. So there's more than just like I only trade.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And you've proven yourself in other businesses you run because I've been along for the ride.
Yeah.
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 I would say that. I would say that. Like look at the stories behind people. Like I'm a good story. Like I was down and out when I met Ryan.
Yeah.
And yeah, I learned a lot of skills from him. And like I said, you just changed my life, man.
I appreciate that, Mark. And I'm glad that I could have, I came into your life at the right time because, um, I've seen your growth and it's been crazy to see that
Yeah.
exponential growth. So
Yeah.
it inspires me. I'm like, wow, Mark is crushing it. So,
Yeah. I just
um,
I just keep my I just keep my lifestyle simple. Like that's the main thing with me. Like I don't really I spend a lot of time with my kids. That's what I use a lot of this for.
okay. Are
Yeah.
you going to teach your kids trading?
I've been trying to. I'm battling with my ex because she's like, they're too young. I'm like, now's the perfect time.
Yeah.
Because my son's like, I haven't he so one thing I do with him is he writes YouTube scripts for me now, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because
Nice.
he's 13, so like he knows the generational language. So like he's all about like the memes and everything, which is great for scripting, right?
Yeah.
And so he did a script with me once, and I was like, I'll give you a rev share for the video, right? The video got like I think 70,000 views in 4 days, and so I
Wow.
paid, I paid him out for it, and he's like, I made this much money from this. I was like, yeah, you made this much money from this. And so like he told his mom, he's like, Mom, like I have a few $100s in my account, like I want to do something for it, like I don't want to spend the money, like I want to invest in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, no, you're too young for that. But he was like,
But-
my app says I can invest. Because he has like one of those kid apps that lets you like put money in the stock market.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
like an acorns or something like
Yeah.
that.
You
Yeah.
know, you know that's probably something that we should probably talk about more in the community. Is like, what if you want to teach your kids? Because I thought about that more. Is
Yeah.
how do you get your kids in options trading when nobody approves you when you're that young? Because I've heard stories about like 18-year-olds who do this, and like, how do they
Yeah.
get approved to do something like this? How do they get approved to do like level 3 on spreads, like things like that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a custodial type account
Mhm.
or maybe the parents just open an account under their name, but they let their
Yeah,
kids use that money. You know, that's probably how it goes. Like if you were
yeah,
to open an account, a separate account, it's still your account, but you just let your son manage it. Yeah.
could definitely try to do that.
Yeah. Or he could do paper trading for the time being.
I don't want to do paper trading. That's just me. Like
Real
I,
money.
I'm me. Like you gotta have skin in the game. Paper trading is just it's gonna be a video game for him. He's just like he'll YOLO the whole thing and think he's God.
You do leaps call options on Core Weave or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Or he'll
GameStop.
just yeah, or he'll start buying like naked options on meme stocks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I know. Real money is always best because then you feel the loss, right? You're like, oh
Yeah.
man, I took an L here. So
Yeah. It
awesome.
changed my mind. It changed my mindset too because it brings me back to college, like when I really had like a lot of go-getters around me.
Hmm.
Um, like I had a friend, I remember like his dad gave him like I think it was like 10 grand to just play with because his dad was really successful. And he was like, here's 10 grand, go do whatever the hell you want with it, like in the stock market. And then he ended up turning it into like 75,000, I think, by the time he was in his senior year in college.
Wow.
And he was
Wow.
just like wheeling and dealing stuff on it. That's when I tried to do stock, but I never picked his brain enough to figure it out.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Uh,
Well, that might be your son. He might be like
yeah,
one
like I
of
want
these
to do something like that.
prodigies.
Yeah, I was like, here's like 2 grand. Like, go do whatever the hell you want with it. If you burn it all on the stock, like whatever, at least you learned a lesson.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a powerful tool. When I have kids, I'm definitely teaching them for sure because I feel like it's one of those skill sets where at least your children will be able to produce some income. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
And
there's
that's
way more to this than just like making money. There's way more things like you can teach people like how to be responsible. It's a whole
yeah,
mindset, right? When you have to invest, because in order to invest, you have to have a good budget. In
yeah,
order for you to have a good budget, like you have to track all your spending and know how to actually save and pay off debt. Because if you don't do any of that, you're not going to be investing at all. And there's people I've
100%.
talked to before where I'm like, hey, you could invest this and this and that. And they're like, how do I invest if I live paycheck to paycheck? And it's like, well, you got to fix your money issues first before you do all that. Like
Yeah.
to me, if you're healthily employed
Hmm.
and you're bleeding out cash, like that's a money mindset issue.
It
Which
is.
brings me over to a concept I'm doing right now on YouTube.
Nice. Yeah, I
So we're
mean,
working on it
yeah,
right now.
it's like probably the biggest hurdle for people. And obviously like we're kind of the stuff I'm teaching is like already if you have that under control. I would say
Right.
the best book that I read for if you just want to get the finances straight so you could trade, like for anyone watching this, obviously not you, Mark, but
Yeah.
is I don't know if you have you read it? It's Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins.
I did. That was the book that I read. Yes. That's a great book.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
changed it for me because then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, each bucket is like a house is its own bucket, a cash
Yes.
is its
Yeah.
own bucket,
Hmm.
real estate or stocks is its own bucket. So once I
Yeah.
started learning that and putting money into different buckets, that helped me. So I
Yeah.
don't know
I did the same.
what helped you?
A few things helped. One was the bucket thing, which is really helpful for people like us who have multiple streams of income. Because we'd be
Yeah.
like, this income's for this income's for that, this income's for that, which makes things very easy to manage. That was one thing. I think what it did for me, like as a consequence, it made me very conservative about trading.
Hmm.
Because I followed his method. I followed like Ray Dalio's method in the book that he talks about like this perfect stock mix you would have.
The all
And so
weather is it all weather?
all weather, yeah, the all weather. So I set up the all
Yeah.
weather on my 401k at the time and I just left it.
Okay. Yeah.
And it didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's like extreme capital preservation, right?
Yes.
But it's like also too when I look at those people, I'm like, well, you're managing hundreds of billions of dollars, so of course
Right.
you have to, right? We have individual accounts that are tiny, so we have to take the risk to make a
Yeah.
return, right?
Yeah.
So,
And I think the other thing too with your course is there's a lot of talk, um, like I guess you could say mass media or whatever you want to call it. But there's a lot of talk that's saying like you can't beat the market. Like you can't beat the market. If you beat the market, then you'd be like hedge fund trader and all this other stuff. And when you think
yeah.
about it, I think they say like 90% of the best or 10% of the best traders beat the market. But it's
Hmm.
like one of those things when you think about it, well, 10% of our population makes more than six figures. So how many people is that? So then how many people like actually beat the stock market? It's actually quite a few people. We just
Hmm.
don't talk about it a lot.
Yeah, there's many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people beating the market. They're just
Yeah.
not famous.
Yeah. We're not talking about
Right?
it. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they manage their own personal portfolio, not a hedge
Yeah.
fund. So,
Right. They're not a hedge fund and they're not using an advisor. They just kind of just do their own thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep.
Mhm.
And that's what we're all doing here in this little group.
Pretty much.
Crushing it, staying
Yeah.
quiet. Well, I appreciate it, Mark. I appreciate you sharing your story, and it's wonderful to see all your success that I've seen you in the past few years being with you, like along this journey. So,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that, and I'm sure we'll have you on again.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.